Hey everyone, welcome to Breathe and Unpack. I'm Maya, and this is our space to slow down, breathe, and talk honestly about the things life throws at us. Here, nothing is off limits. Relationships, family, work, stress, and personal struggles. Sometimes we'll vent, sometimes we'll reflect, but every time we'll ask, what can I take away from this? You're not just listeners, you're part of our support system. That means we share, we listen, we learn, and we leave the judgment at the door. And if you need to cry or get emotional here, that's okay too. This space is built for honesty. If you've got a story you want to share or something you're unpacking in your own life, email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack at gmail.com. That's breathe and unpack at gmail.com. I might read it here on the show so we can all grow together. And just a quick note, this podcast is about personal opinions and experiences. It's not medical, legal, or therapeutic advice. So take a breath, lean in, and let's unpack life together. Welcome to the support system. As always, we're just exploring here, breathing through what comes up and unpacking it gently at our own pace. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and slowly unpack whatever is unfolding for us today. Maybe it's not your purpose that's missing. When someone says, I don't know my purpose, that sentence usually isn't casual. It usually comes after something. Picture someone sitting in their car after work, engine off, music off, just silence. They did everything they were supposed to do that day, answered emails, showed up on time, handled responsibilities. From the outside, nothing is wrong. But sitting there in that quiet moment, a thought creeps in. Is this it? And that thought feels heavy. It's just an unsettled feeling. It's not a crisis. It's not dramatic. So they pick up their phone. They scroll. Someone announces a new business, posts an engagement photo. Someone buys a house. Someone talks about walking in their purpose. And the quiet thought gets louder. What am I doing? Then it shifts. Maybe I don't know my purpose. Now sit there. That sentence isn't about destiny. It's about comparison. It's about unmet expectations. It's about feeling disconnected from yourself. Sometimes it's grief. Grief for the version of your life that you thought you'd have by now. That's what we mean when we say we don't know our purpose. Textbook's definition says purpose is a person's sense of meaning, direction, or intention in life. Meaning, direction, intention. But real life doesn't feel like a definition. It feels like, do I feel aligned? Do I feel proud? Do I feel like my life makes sense to me? And here's where the myth begins. The myth of one big purpose. A lot of us were raised believing that there is one grand calling waiting to be discovered. One perfect lane, one destiny. And if you don't find it early, you're behind. But what happens when you change? What happens when the things you loved at 21 doesn't feel the same at 31 and it doesn't fit? Did you fail or did you evolve? The belief that purpose must be permanent makes growth feel like failure. But real life moves in seasons. At 22, your purpose might be survival. At 27, it might be healing. At 30, it might be stability. And at 35, it might be depth. That's not inconsistency. That's evolution. Social media make it look like people have one storyline. But nobody posts their internal recalibration. Nobody posts the nights they question everything. Nobody posts the identity shifts. Let's sit in purpose versus passion. Passion is a spark. It's excitement. It's that feeling when something lights you up. But passion fluctuates. Purpose is what remains even when the spark fades. Think about a parent. They don't wake up passionate every day. There are exhausting days, frustrating days, but there's still meaning. Think about someone building something. They don't love every task. There are boring parts, hard parts, unseen parts, but there's still meaning. Purpose is not constant excitement. It's consistent commitment to something that matters to you. And that's different. Now sit inside ordinary roles because purpose has been glamorized. It looks like influence, impact, visibility. But imagine a person who show up every week to care for an elderly parent. No applause, no spotlight, just consistency. Imagine a friend who always answers the phone. The sibling who breaks generational patterns. The teacher who quietly believes in one student who doesn't believe in themselves. That is purpose. Not everything meaningful trends. Some purpose lives in rooms that will never be photographed. Now let's sit inside assigned purpose. Picture someone who grew up being the strong one. They handled things early. They matured fast. People praised them for being responsible. You're strong. You always figure it out. So they internalize that role. Now they're older. They're tired. But they don't know how not to be strong. They don't know how to choose softness. They think helping everyone is their purpose. But was that chosen or was that survival? There's survival purpose and there's chosen purpose. Survival says, I have to. Chosen says, I want to. And sometimes the hardest part of growth is realizing you're allowed to choose differently now. Now sit in the feeling of having everything but still feeling empty. Picture someone who did everything right. Got the degree, got the job, got the partner. They hit the milestone. They post a photo. Everyone congratulates them. But that night, laying in bed, they feel normal. Not transformed, not fulfilled, just the same. And that scares them because they thought arrival would feel different. Then guilt shows up. I should be grateful. What's wrong with me? Why am I not happier? That's not lack of purpose. That's misunderstanding fulfillment. Achievement is external. Fulfillment is internal. You can check every box and still feel misaligned. Now, midlife crisis. Sometimes it's not about age. It's about awareness. It's someone at 32 realizing, I built this life, but did I choose it consciously? It's someone at 40 realizing, I can't keep living on autopilot. It's someone at 28 questioning everything quietly. That shaking feeling isn't always crisis. Sometimes it's clarity trying to surface. Now, purpose and money. Picture someone who loves helping people, but their job pays the bills and drains them. They feel stuck. If I leave, I'm unstable. If I stay, I'm unfulfilled. So they think purpose must equal paycheck. But maybe not everything meaningful has to be monetized immediately. Maybe stability and purpose can coexist separately for a season. That tension is real. and it deserves space. Now, mental health. When you feel directionless, anxiety can grow. When you feel pressure to figure it out, overwhelm can grow. When you compare constantly, shame can grow. But small acts of meaning stabilize you. Helping one person, finishing one task, showing up consistently. Meaning grounds the mind. Now, micro purpose. Instead of asking, what am I doing with my life? Ask, who needs me today? What can I contribute this week? What problem can I solve right now? That makes purpose tangible. Now, identity shifts. Graduating, divorce, loss, career change, becoming a caregiver. Each of these moments forces you to ask, who am I now? And when identity shifts, purpose shifts. That's not instability, that's growth. Pain. Many people find direction through struggle, through loss, through rejection, through hardship. Pain strips away what doesn't matter. It clarifies what does. Some people turn wounds into wisdom. Some people help others survive what they survive. Pain isn't glamorous, but it can refine you. Now let's bring it back. Maybe it's not your purpose that's missing. Maybe it's permission. Permission to evolve. Permission to change lanes. Permission to admit something doesn't fit anymore. Permission to build slowly. Permission to not compare your chapter to someone else's highlight. When do you feel most useful? What conversations energize you? What impact do you naturally create? What would you still do if nobody applauded you? Purpose might not be one big headline. It might be a series of small, honest decisions. And that is enough. Before we close this out, I just want you to sit with something. Not fix anything, not figure anything out, just notice. If no one was watching your life, if no one had expectations of you, if there were no timeline to meet, what would actually feel honest for you right now? Not 5 years from now. Not who you used to be. Not who people think you are. Right now. Right at this second. What feels like you? And maybe you don't have a full answer. Maybe it's just small shifts. A small truth. A small desire you've been ignoring. That's enough. Here's the takeaway. Maybe it's not your purpose that's missing. Maybe you've just been measuring it by someone else's definition. Maybe purpose isn't a grand announcement. Maybe it's alignment in a small daily choices. Maybe it's showing up honestly. Maybe it's evolving. Maybe it's giving yourself permission to change. You don't have to solve your whole life. Just move in the direction that feels true. And let that be enough for now. Thank you for listening to Breathe and Unpack. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend, family member, or someone you think could use the conversation. You never know, it might be exactly what they need to hear. I'd also love to hear from you. Email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack@gmail.com. Again, that's breathe, the letter N for Nancy, unpack@gmail.com. Or connect with me on Instagram at breathe, AND, unpack. Whether it's your story, your takeaway, or just a thought you want to get off your chest, this space is for all of us. And just a reminder, This podcast isn't therapy or professional advice. I'm learning and growing right alongside you. These are real conversations meant to spark reflection and support, not replace the help of a professional. We're building the support system together. One breath, one story, one moment at a time. Until next time, take a breath, lean in, and let's keep unpacking.